President Trump making his sixth visit to the metro since taking office. He talked about infrastructure and cutting regulations at the UPS facility at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport yesterday. Governor Kemp and Senator Kelly Loeffler also on hand as the president unveiled his plan to streamline the federal permit approval process, which will allow expedited transportation and building projects across the nation. Trump says the first project to benefit from the shorter process is Georgia's expansion of I-75.
This expansion will add 77 new lane miles of commercial vehicles like those driven by UPS.